Hi, this is Rachel coming to you with this week's Sparkle of Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. This week I wanted to talk a little bit about a very brave person in our history and how that connects us to this time period that we find ourselves in as we have finished Passover and the Exodus and are heading towards receiving the Torah during the holiday of Shavuot. So the person I wanted to speak about, his name was Nachshon. And my friend Lisa, if you're listening, I know this is one of your favorites. Nachshon was a descendant of the tribe of Judah. And when we were standing on the edge of the Sea of Reeds and about to cross, we faced this raging sea in front of us and the Egyptians chasing us from behind. And the tribes of Israel were hesitant to jump into this raging sea. It seemed to be a dangerous thing to do. And Moses told everyone to go ahead on in. And the first person to jump in courageously was Nachshon. And he actually waded in, our tradition tells us that he waded in all the way up to his neck. And at that point, the sea split. It took a tremendous amount of courage and fortitude and initiative on his part to be the first person to jump in and to keep wading forward even before the sea split, to keep walking and walking through something that seemed to be perilous and dangerous and unknown. And sure enough, there was a wonderful ending for him and for all of us as we crossed that Sea of Reeds safely. So here we find ourselves now. We are in this time period of, we are traveling in the desert, getting ready throughout this 49-day period between finishing Passover, or actually the second day of Passover, and when we received the Torah on Shavuot, of having courage to keep refining ourselves and keep pressing forward and keep preparing ourselves to receive the Torah. During this time period, we call it the counting of the Omer, and there is a spiritual aspect to this physical act of counting sheaves of barley, and that is that we are taking a look at ourselves and some of the character traits that we might want to be working on, whether it is our courage, our humility, our kindness, and our spirituality, aspects of that. I think that it takes a certain amount of courage during this time period to look inward, because it's not easy to look at ourselves and say, gee, I'd like to get myself into a place that I'm ready to receive the Torah and that I'm coming towards Shavuot in just a different type of way this year. I'm showing up a little bit differently this year than I did last year, and what do I need to do that? And in fact, from a spiritual perspective, it's an inward look. So whereas Nachshon took that outward jump in, I think that this time period between Passover and Shavuot is sort of an inward jump in, so that by the time we get ready and we have reached Shavuot, that we are in fact prepared spiritually to receive the Torah. So my sparkle for this week would be, may we all channel the courage of Nachshon and have the courage and the faith to look inward, so that we are prepared as best we can be to receive our most gorgeous, beautiful Torah. And I wanted to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.